inside the table first. So if your data is not formatted as a table and you want to do a pivot table, the first step is to click inside the data, then go to the home menu under styles and click on format as table. So if you click on format as table, then you can create or select any other that you want. You can pick any other style that you want and you proceed with it. For instance, my data is now formatted as a table and I'm now ready to create pivot tables. So to quickly summarize this, I'll then make sure that I've clicked inside the table and go to insert. You navigate to insert. You will navigate to insert. Then you'll see pivot table. That is the first part, pivot table. As you do that, make sure you've clicked inside the data here, then pivot table. Then you'll see from table stroke range, from table stroke range. Click on it and you are presented with that pivot table from table or range. Now, if you had not formatted your data as a table, then it will force you to select your data here. But if you had formatted your data as a table, it automatically picks that table that you are interested with. You can see the dancing lines. They have selected the entire data, whatever you want to use in your pivot table. If yours has not, then it means you've not. Maybe you did not format your data as a table and you've not made any selection. Now choose where you want your pivot table to be placed. Now, do you want your pivot table to be on a new worksheet? Or do you want to put your pivot table in the existing worksheet? Assuming I want my pivot table to be on the existing worksheet. So I want it to be on the existing worksheet. So if we want to put it on the existing worksheet, then just click on existing worksheet. Then they will ask you about the location. So location, or perhaps existing worksheet may not work well now because this is where we have our main data. We can take it to a new worksheet. Take it to a new worksheet. Now, new worksheet, just say new worksheet, then okay. New worksheet, then okay. Okay, that way. Now, they will create for you a new worksheet. So there is a place for sheet 1, then there's a place for data. Data is where we are just coming from, but we are already, the one that has been created is known as sheet 1. Then there is pivot table fields. There's a place for pivot table fields. Choose fields to add to report. Is order ID, product, category, all the fields that were on the table can be seen here. Then you can drag the fields between the areas that you see, like filters, columns, rows, and then values. Now, if I'm asked to give a summary of product and their values, then I simply click on this product and hold, click on this product and hold, then drag it to rows. Drag it to rows and you'll see that it will create something on the left. So you click on product under the items, the fields to drag and drag to rows, and you'll see that you have created something on the left. Again, amount is what they want. So you click on amount and drag to values. Click, hold, and drag to values, and you'll see automatically that you have, in a few minutes that we've done, there is the product and the amounts. So that is already a pivot table that has been created. So if somebody asks you another question, now they don't want product, they just want category and amount. They just want category and amount. It simply means you remove product and now use category. You remove product and use category. How do you remove product? You click on product under the rows here and drop it outside. You can see I'm dropping it outside. Now you don't have product. Then take category, hold, drag to rows. You can see it's placed now. We have the fruits and vegetables that have been inserted that way. Okay. Okay. If you want country, you will again take category out. You just remove category out. Then now this time round you use country. Country is here and drop it to rows. You can see now we have Australia, Canada, France, and the respective amounts that have been shown on the right side. So that is also doable. Now you may be wondering, what about columns? When do you use columns? Now it depends with how you want your data to be. For instance, if I want to organize it in columns now, you just take this country and drop it to columns, and now it will be organized in columns, not the way it was in a row. So now we have the amount and we have the other part. The countries are now organized in that column way. But if you want to take it back to rows, which looks good, you simply drop it back to rows and it will be organized that way. Now, we want to do another one. This one is already a pivot table showing country and amount. So we want to save this. How do we save this? Just rename the worksheet. Rename the worksheet and call it a pivot table, PVT1. That is PVT1. 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 Now go back to data. That can be left the way it is. That can be left the way it is. Or before you go to data, at times you may still be editing and by mistake you click somewhere and your fields disappear on the right. So if your fields disappear on the right, no problem. You just click back on where your table is and they may come back. If they fail to come back, you go to the table, pivot table analyze, and you can click on the field list. You can see field list on, field list off, field list on, and field list off. Once saved as PVT1, go back to data. Remember this one is showing country and amount, so go back to data. Data. We want to do another pivot table. Another pivot table. So inside the data, go to insert, again pivot table. Pivot table. Click on pivot table. Now we have that again. Just click on new worksheet and OK. New worksheet and OK. We'll be doing for the existing worksheet the last one. For this case, we just do new worksheet, then OK. Okay. Now, this time round, we will create a pivot table that will be having more than one element, and we are going to see how that will work. We want to use filters. We may also use rows. We'll use values, of course, and we'll be seeing if we can use columns as well. Now, take category to filters. Click and hold on category and take it to filters. So category is in filters. Filters, something will pop up on the top left. It's in filters. Take product to rows. Take products to rows. Now, we have taken category to filters. We've then taken product to rows. Then I want you to take country to columns. Country to columns. Country to columns. Then finally, take amount to values. Take amount to values. Amount to values, that way. Amount has now been taken to values. Now look at how that pivot table looks like, because we have products, we have countries, and we have categories. When then do you use filters? Because we took category to filters. We took category to filters, and this is how it will help you. Under category at the top left in cell A1, you simply click on the arrow on cell A1 at the top. Click on the arrow. Currently it's showing all, but you can use any other thing, like click on select multiple items. You will see select multiple items. And I want only to show fruits, so you uncheck vegetable. Now uncheck vegetable and click on OK. Now that is how you use filters. It helps you to filter out your data in the pivot table. Now this one is only showing fruits, and now my data only has apple, banana, mango, and oranges. If I want to show only vegetable, you now remove fruit and check vegetable and then click on OK. Now that is only showing beans, broccoli, and only carrots in our pivot table. If you want to show all, you click on this arrow and say you now want to show all, and then OK, then that will show you what you want. So again, we can save this pivot table. Let us save this pivot table. Right click on sheet 2 and call it PVT2, that is pivot table 2. Pivot table 2, PVT2. We do a third one, unless you have a question on this one. Let us do a third pivot table. Go back to data. Data. So data. Then again, while on data, click on insert. Again, pivot table. Pivot table. Then again, you just click on OK. So the same procedure now has become a norm of doing a pivot table. Now this time round, we want to see place. I want us to place country on rows. Country on rows. Now we have country on rows. Take category on columns. So category on columns. Category on columns. Then you can take product on filters. Take product on filters. Product on filters. Now product has been taken to filters. Product has now been taken to filters. Then of course automatically amount goes to values. The amount goes to values. That is also another pivot table that can be created. Now, what is the work of filters? If I click on this, filters under product, then select multiple items, then I only want to show apple. Assuming it's only apple that I want to show, I unselect all and only pick apple, then OK. That is only apple. So apples in Australia, in Canada, all the way to the United States, that can also be shown like that. If I want to show two, let's say apple and broccoli, then OK. Now you can see we only have apple and broccoli that is being shown in those different countries using this pivot table. Whichever question you are asked, pivot table can help you answer that question in a very, very short span of time. Then show everything by just checking all, then OK. That can also be a pivot table. If you want to know the total in Australia, the total for fruits, the total for vegetable, all that can be done. So save this to PVT3, and this will be pivot table 3. Pivot table 3. Pivot table 3. Now it can also be something that is complex, something that you've created, but again, very complex if you want. So you want to do that, go back to data. Go back to data. Data. Then insert pivot table from table range, then OK, just new worksheet, then OK. We want to create something very complex, which perhaps again, understanding may be difficult. So to do that, take product to rows. Take product to rows. Take category to rows again, category to rows. Category to rows. Then take country to columns. Country to columns. Country are now in columns. Then you can take amount to values. Take amount to values. That's a different kind of a pivot table that can be created. There's also dates that can be used. Dates. One can take dates and pick and decide whether to take it on columns or rows. I'm taking dates to rows. Country went to columns, then date again to rows, and you can see what has been presented. Dates was taken to rows, the last one. Now this pivot table is very complex and difficult to understand, though it breaks things down into even dates. You can see the way it looks like. It's such a complex one again. Now this one may not be that much meaningful because for pivot table, you want something simple, something that can help you make decision faster if you're doing a pivot table. So I may not recommend such kind of a pivot table. Rename it to PVT4, PVT4, as we do the last one, as we do the last one. So we do the last one. Or what if I take, before we do the last one, what if you take maybe date to columns? You take date to columns, you create something different again. If you take dates to columns, it again looks different. That is if you're taking dates to columns. Anyway, it is complex and even much more difficult than the original data. Go back to data. We learned the last one. How do you create a pivot table in the same worksheet? Because in your questions, in your BDA questions, we'll be doing pivot tables in the same worksheet, not outside. They usually want you to do it just in the same worksheet there. So insert, go back to the original data and click on insert, pivot table. Then now this time round, don't click on OK. Say existing worksheet. Just say existing worksheet. Existing worksheet. Now location, they're asking you where. I say that you want this pivot table to be where? Location here. So just click in cell I, that is cell I15. So existing worksheet, but you want it to be here. Then OK. That's it. And we want to do a pivot table of date and amounts. Just a simple one of date and amounts. So pick the date and take it to rows. Pick the date and take it to rows. Then take amount and drop it to values. That is all that I want. Just a simple pivot table showing dates and amounts. Dates and amounts. Then just close the other part, or you can click inside here so that you can get that pivot table. This pivot table shows dates and amounts. If somebody asks you January to December, which month should we concentrate in doing marketing, then you tell them that maybe the month that had the lowest, the month of April. Yeah, so the month of April needs more marketing. Now you can see here again that there are some arrows here. These arrows are used if you want to expound, not just a month, but you can expound. There's a plus. You just click on this plus and it will expound into specific dates in January. You can see specific dates in January. There was a BDA question that wanted that. Apart from portraying the years, they also wanted the months and also some days. So just click on that plus so that it can give you the specific days. Now in January, which day was the best? 16th of January. We don't know what happened on 16th of January, but it seems like the day that we received the fattest check, the 16th of January. 8th of January, it was our worst day because you can see what happened on the 8th of January. Again, on specific days, you can see there's another plus. Like, let me go to this day that we had the highest. There's another plus here. If you expound on that, now it gives you, that is the same data. Yeah, same date. Now just click on the minus so that you can close it up. Again, the minus on January so that you can close it up. Still, you can close it up now if you click on the minus. Now that is a pivot table that is now placed inside the existing worksheet. Pivot tables made simpler.